I'm Jessica with Mapping Awakening. I wanted to talk a little bit about the way your mitochondria play a role in your awakening. So for those that are going through spiritual awakening, you're going through a lot of deep change and cellular change and transformation. And the mitochondria, as you may know, live in the nucleus of the cell, and there can be up to 2,000 mitochondria in any cell. And they are responsible for creating energy through receiving oxygen and converting that into ATP, which then gets converted into energy. And energy is necessary for creating any change. For moving us forward in life, we need energy. And when we stay stuck and stagnant, that is a sign of a lack of energy. So the mitochondria play a very vital role in our awakening, and also because right now people are waking up at really fast levels, and then and their process is progressing pretty quickly as well. That's requiring even more energy. So we're going to do a practice for our feet, and we did a practice for our feet the other day, but you're just going to take your foot, cross it over to your other ankle, and then just start to kind of massage the top and the bottom of the foot. What happens is that our fascia, our tissues, our connective tissues get very rigid due to our holding patterns and to the stress rub up and down into the back of the Achilles that connects into the calf. And when we have rigid tissues, the mitochondria that live in those cells, in those parts of those tissues, are not receiving oxygen at the potential, the level that they can, and probably not receiving any at all. Now just rub into the outer and inner ankle. In the US, I know that 1 in 2 people have mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the statistics I've heard. So the tension in our bodies and the inflammation in our bodies is really inhibiting that mitochondria. Now let's get a nice, really vigorous, deeper scrub at the bottoms of the toes. And the outer edge. And the inner edge. So the outer and inner edges of the feet, this area of the tissue, is important for creating an opening and bringing integrity into the tissue on the top and the bottom of the foot. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a moment to just squeeze our pinky toe. So I'm going to take fingers and squeeze the front and the back of the toe, and then other fingers to squeeze inner and outer toes. So I'm using my thumb and my index finger. You're just going to breathe. I'm just feeling your pelvis. Maybe kind of press into the very top of that toe. Good, and then let's go into the next toe. So we're going to squeeze the outer and inner, and then front and back. And you're going to just get a nice squeeze in there. And breathe. So we're helping to depressurize the edges of the endpoints of the energy body here. And when the pressure releases from here, communication then can get signaled up through the chain, up through the pathways of the energy body. Okay, let's go into the next toe. We're gonna squeeze the outer, inner, and then front and back. And I feel there are people that have a lot of holding in their toes. I know I used to. And that's going to inhibit their systems in releasing and discharging. And it's going to impact how they feel daily in their bodies and how they perceive in their minds. Okay, let's go into the next toe. Just squeezing the outer, the inner, and then the front and the back. Ooh. And I'm getting some regulation in this line. Great, and then we'll go into the big toe here. Really get your fingers through around there. Really squeezing, not in a way that's painful, but just in a loving, like deep connecting squeeze. Releasing pressure. Great, and then just release that and then just scrub into the webbing. I'm gonna just pull the big toe away from the second toe and scrub in there and into the front. I had bunion surgery, so I need to really release around that scar. And then go into between, pull that second toe away from the third toe and just scrub in there. All the way into the webbing and down to the top of the foot. Top of that foot tissue gets really rigid. Okay, and then into the next. And our feet send signals to our brain about environment. So if the tissues are tense in there, then it's constantly sending a signal that things aren't safe in our environment, there's threat. Let's move up and down. Okay, now we're just gonna pull that pinky toe away from the fourth toe and kind of move in there and that webbing, depressurizing, and then down. And then just scrub into the bottom, move the foot side to side. So I want to teach soon with these tune-up balls, yoga tune-up balls. I'm gonna just kind of squeeze into that Achilles as I flex and make circles, getting some fresh flow in there. And you can see my calf moving, so we want to move that and move that energy, release or switch directions. So that's actually regulating, that's movement. Any time there's movement, there's a regulation. We're changing the way things are. All right, good. Release that. Notice how that feels. So I look completely different, even like up through my leg. I'm noticing the color, and I didn't really even touch up higher in my leg. Wiggle the toes. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're just gonna start with brushing into the top and the bottom of the foot. Onto the base of the shin. And the outer and inner. So anytime also you're like in your head and say you even want to like make a decision and you're needing to tap into your intuition some, but you feel like you can't trust yourself and you can't find clarity. Doing a practice like this, any practice in the body, is gonna support that in coming online. Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of go up and down through that Achilles into the middle, through the back of the leg. All right, and we're gonna scrub at the base of the toes. And into that outer blade of the foot. So I'm getting some more regulation as I open that outer blade. Okay, and get into the inner. All the way into that outer big toe. Okay, great. Now let's take hold of that pinky toe. Like we did on the other side, and squeeze outer, inner, front and back. Okay, we'll switch. So you may want to hold until you feel like a shift somewhere in your system, down regulation, like your nervous system shifts gears some. Let's take that next one and squeeze. Also doing this before your meditation practice or even yoga practice, even bigger effects there, because you want your feet to come online. I'm going to be teaching ways to get our fascial system online in yoga practice. Okay, let's go into the next toe. I'm just squeezing. Maybe just saying hi to your mitochondria, this beautiful communication network. So the mitochondria are conscious, and the more we work with our fascial system, the more we can start to build a conscious relationship with them, where you can even like ask them to activate in certain qualities and certain things, and that signaling goes across throughout the system. They can be your allies, and they can really support you moving to that next toe in your awakening process. They love it when I communicate with them, and they really show up for me, and really just helps my intelligence in coming more and more online. So we're not meant to be these dense beings of energy that are just stagnant and depressed, but we have like so much beautiful divine intelligence within us that we can consciously connect with. Let's go into that big toe. Great, and then we're gonna just kind of pull the big toe away from the second toe, and I'm just taking my finger down into the webbing, kind of pressing in there forward and back, and between the next toes, pulling that second toe away, really loosening up this tissue here, and the next toe. And that last toe, you can pull that pinky toe away. If you kind of get in there, maybe a little strange. Great, and then just scrubbing at the base of the toes, top and bottom of the foot. And let's squeeze at the Achilles with our thumbs, wrapping around. We're gonna flex the foot and make circles. And reverse. Great. All right, one last little scrub. Maybe you can kind of dig into the bottom of the foot there, find those mounds, and then release that down. Now let's just take a moment to sit with our heels under the knees, feet open as wide as, say, those outer hip bones, and we'll lift and spread the toes, but finding those flat bones under the toes connected to the ground, and the heels grounded, and just letting your awareness draw down to where your tailbone is, so supporting you and grounding here. Taking a few deep breaths. Get a subtle lift upward through the sternum. And let's take a moment to just bring some openness into the upper body. Bending the elbows, bringing your hands to your shoulders. Let's inhale our elbow forward, and then exhale. Swing it back as you kind of twist back a little. We'll inhale forward, exhale, a little swinging back. Let's do that a few more times. Last one. Then we'll come to center, breathing in and breathing out, feeling that tailbone, sensing it, letting yourself kind of move back in space, other elbow forward, and exhale, hinge it back, hinging forward and back. Good, doing this a few more times. Last one. And coming to center. Let those elbows come back a little further, and then just spread the fingers, flex those palms. You're gonna reach the arms out as you flex and reach into those mounds. Take a breath in, and breath out to relax the arms. And noticing, softening, Beautiful. Thanks for watching, and I hope you can practice that. And I know it's strange. You think, doing this to my feet, what is that going to do for me? Over time, it's going to make you feel better. Probably even immediately, you're going to find some sort of release in your system. And yeah, I'm going to just continue to work up through the body. But for now, that's where we are. So thanks for watching. Blessings to you.